Escape to the metaverse. Better act like you know. Yeah. You are now tuned into the Matthew Rizzle show. Yeah. Escape to the metaverse. Better act like you know. Yeah. You are now tuned into the Matthew Rizzle show. Yeah. Escape to the metaverse. Better act like you know. You are now tuned into the Matthew Rizzle show. Yeah. Escape to the metaverse. Better act like you know.
We still didn't have internet here. I don't know if you know anything about what's been happening up here weather-wise, but we got walloped by a damn blizzard at the beginning of the long weekend. Lost power, lost internet for like 96 hours. Wild, dude.
It's amazing, like, we are this far along that you can still do something like this, even without power, without, like, real internet and everything, and you sound crispy, dude.
Dude, stoked for Meme Explorer / MarbleCards birthday. Half a decade old. Off the whip last week, which was awesome. Shout out to Metageist and Gabe Weiss and Sinks, the whole Vibe crew, for putting that together. Especially Metageist. God, I'm so excited for what he's going to be creating most weeks in terms of like in-world games and shit like that. It makes it, again, we've saying this over and over, fucking broken record, but that sort of thing, new courses, new in-world experiences is what it's all about. And it's stoked that Metageist is excited to help us build that portion of the show out more.
Yeah, dude, I really like what he said at the Whip, honestly, about using the Whip as sort of like a testing ground for, just different Metageist experiments that he wants to do. And, I'm like, of course, like, hell yeah, man, like use it as a canvas. Like that's sort of what Fractillions has been doing too. She, like whips up something on the side and, probably the Coldy whip is one of the best examples of that, where like she went above and beyond and it was like, this huge thing. It's cool seeing like sort of offering the whip parcel up. Brookhawk has made some contributions, put together the donation banner, which is like actually like a very sophisticated thing. And cool to see people just sort of use it as like a canvas to try out things that they are just curious how it'll work or how it can execute. And our audience is always down to see what people are tinkering with, and it's a cool little thing we got going on here.
Yeah, and I mean, yesterday Neon Glitch 86 posted some Candy Pepe worm or something and was tagging us, but he's like in Ground Zero in Hyperfy doing something with other folks, and I'm like, I don't know if that was part of the whip last week or if he's posting it like just jumping back in there with folks, but there's energy, man. Like people coming back, doing things, sharing way more on social. It's a breath of fresh air. Again, like we're always broken records, but in a space where some things are feeling super tired, being able to do this weird shit continuously and always have that be perma-fresh, perma-new is such a lifesaver, I think.
Yeah, dude, it's been like legit fun, and I feel like we've done a pretty good job collectively, like as a community of empowering other people to just sort of do weird things, and pressure's off. Like there's no expectations in terms of like, is it going to break, is it going to work? Like we're down to roll, and yeah, man, it's just been really fun. And coming back to this week, dude, I was thinking about this, and it's easy to sort of like, I'm in conversation with Johan daily, and I know you talk to him all the time, and, they're part of the crew, with Meme Explorers, and MarbleCards has just been in the mix for so long, and we've been hosting the Whip in their server, and, a lot of their community dates back to like the old Cent days that, we were, a huge part of and everything. And so it's sort of like, zooming out, man, I'm like, shit, dude, they've been around for 5 years. MarbleCards has. And like you look at some of the stats that Johan was posting, I don't know when he posted it earlier today, I guess, and just millions of transactions, things being done. Like it's a beefy project, and it's a sophisticated project that, and he gives a couple shout outs to you in it in terms of like, making them think about how, MarbleCards and artist relationships fit together and like all this stuff. And they've just always been out there doing some really progressive stuff for like a long ass time. And saying all that to say, man, it's cool that the Whip is like the spot where they're celebrating their shit, man. Like, both MarbleCards, their anniversary, 5 years, and their project Meme Explorers is launching a thing that I don't even know how much I'm allowed to say. Like, you and I both know a bit about it, but they've been around, man, and have really like earned their cred within the space, doing interesting shit that nobody else is really still like tinkering with.
Yeah, like there were a few things I was thinking about as I was reading through Johan's thread this morning, aka Super Mabla. But the history part obviously stands out, right? And the on-chain history of everything and the kind of interweaving between on-chain and like Twitter and Cent history. It's really cool to go down memory lane there. And all the marble mints that they had, the projects they had been experimenting with, the controversies that erupted at varying intervals. But the other part is just the community that surrounded MarbleCards, Meme Explorers, the Whip, Cent. Like it's morphed and changed, and folks have gone hither thither, like on their own, but always kind of coming back, and they have like Marble/Mean as a home ground. They have the Whip as like a recurring container to jump into. And again, I've been thinking about this other project a lot too, but with like streak points, like that's another place where I'm seeing like Easy and Crypto show up. You're Ben, you're a non-ass that doesn't use ENS. Like Cameron, Raymond, like an old teammate from Cent. Ikaitsa was just jumping in there the other day. Like we're all here, and we're all like what you and I have created, what Johan has created, what the team over at Marble, what all the artists are creating on their own. Like it's just this way to keep this amorphous community together in a way that works for like a majority of people. Like I don't know any other crew out there that consistently has just been in the space, present, and then circulates back amongst one another. It's just like a beautiful experience without having to force anyone into any particular site. And it's a hard concept to kind of grasp unless you're a part of it, like we are, like on a week in, week out, day in, day out basis. But damn, it just gives me so much hope for these sorts of like digitally powered on-chain relationships long term.
Yeah, dude, they've done something that's like really hard to do and like really hard to replicate like in a non-organic way, and something that the Whip has done a good job of as well, man, where like the MarbleCards community like is proactively doing stuff for themselves, like with the support of the MarbleCards team and Meme Explorers and everything. But like I'm thinking about this like season of Goodwill contest that was put on by Incat and a name that's slipping me, and I apologize. Someone's Discord handle that I would recognize. And it was just a community driven event with like community driven prizes for people to make MarbleCards in tribute to other members of the community and everything. And I made one for Johan and I made one for you, and it was kind of just like a fun like, and I actually won like a prize for putting it up and everything. But saying all that to say, it's good vibes, man, and it's hard to like without directly incentivizing people who are quote unquote members of your community to do that. It's really hard to create an environment where people just proactively do shit because they enjoy being there and they enjoy being part of the community and genuinely want to give back to the community. So man, kudos to them, man. We're going on our 5th year, but they've landed their 5th year. Yep. And MarbleCards is in orbit at this point. I feel like there's certainly can be ways to make everything better and streamline things and gain more users and traction and like blah 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 blah. But I'm like, dude, that's a community that's been like pretty strong for like a very long time now, and are constantly cranking out new MarbleCards, and there's new competitions going on, and I dip in periodically and participate sometimes, but the hardcore fans are hardcore fans, and I don't know, man. I dig the project, and hats off to anyone who's been here like close to that long.
Yeah, and they've been grinding so hard and experimenting and iterating, but also staying close to their core, like with MarbleCards. And you still see like folks marbling links, like really regularly, actually. Like always popping up in my feed, it feels like. But all like again, like experimenting, breaking new ground, and at the whip, really excited to hear from them what they've been cooking up. Like you said, like Johan shares all the updates. I know you're more of a beta tester than I am, like far more, with everything that they're cooking up. So I'm just excited to again, like last week with Vipe, like another project that they're doing so much and they're working so hard and they stay around and stick it out thick and thin. MarbleCards, Meme, Johan, that whole team, they do the same thing. And just I love kind of knowing what's coming, but also not knowing exactly what they're going to be presenting and like letting us get our hands on in short order. So just excited for that too, man. Really,
Yeah,
really,
dude, I
really
can
hungry.
spill like a little bit of the beans because they've been building a lot of this like somewhat in public, like entrenched in their Discord with engagement with the community and everything. So I have an idea of the direction they're going. But before we talk about what Meme Explorers is cooking up, man, I just wanted to say like again, circling back to MarbleCards, like we're sort of like used to them at this point, but this is not like a non-controversial project even at this point. And Johan is like I really appreciate, and I didn't really know how to take it early on. We had lots of conversations about MarbleCards and artist relations and content and all this stuff. And props to Johan, man. Like Johan has just been like really stoic about like taking risks and wading into the gray area and being like totally unafraid to like push boundaries. And now we just sort of like marble, that's what a marble card is. Marble card just like does its thing. But like for a long time there was pushback and controversy, and Johan has always just sort of like never really I feel like he's done a very good job of like paying attention to it and making adjustments where he felt like it was appropriate. But on the other side, man, he like, has this vision and always stuck with it and everything. And, I dig it. So I don't know, man, you sort of just get used to them. You're like, oh, MarbleCards. But like, back in the day, there's some controversial shit.
Controversial shit and just brand new shit, right?
Yeah.
It takes a while, like far longer than most appreciate, to have new concepts stick. And one, most people don't have the patience or tenacity, right, to kind of wait at all for anything, let alone just like sticking it out and fighting the good fight until like a sizable number of folks understand it and get it and can help kind of like streamline the understanding for new parties and entrants to understand it, right? And over the years, watching that emerge when it comes to Marble and continue to emerge with what they're doing with Meme, it's fucking awesome, man. And I hope other builders in the space that are doing just the craziest fringe out there shit today, right, that may not be like that in the future. I hope they're taking notes, because he's a vet, not just in crypto too, but I remember first meeting him and he was talking about his previous startups and acquisitions and stuff like that. So yeah, again, like we're watching a master work, and we just have the privilege of being able to do that for half a decade at this point.
Dude, I keep coming back. I'm like, dude, they own meme.com. Like, Johan, and this, I didn't mean for this to turn into like a Johan love fest, but like, so it goes.
It's about time.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, and I think I said this like a long time ago on a podcast. Like, if there's one thing I know about Johan and really appreciate Johan, is like, Johan fucking loves memes, dude. He like lives and breathes like the ethos behind his project, and I see him in Discord, different channels, just like always on his brain and everything, and so. Meme Explorers, they've been like sort of building this like sort of public facing in a while. They got these memons that they're creating for people. The Rizzle block mon made one. Flash Mob has been like Flash Mob, another one. Shout out to the early days from Scent and everything, has been whipping up these characters, so they're launching a thing like live tomorrow at the Whip, and they've got a lot of surprises. I should say Thursday, depending on when people are listening to this. and have a lot of surprises up their sleeve and a trailer they're going to play for us and everything. But they've been building out this and tinkering around with, building your team of like little memons and sending them on adventures, and they come back with things. And, I think you participated in a couple of them at some point. You get a key where you can like unlock something, and then they like had, run an experiment where they built little stories into it. And then where you could like, bet on ones coming back to within like, which one was going to survive. And so they've been tinkering around with all these different game mechanics with these memons, but that also like leans on, dude, if you look at their site, like, again, man, they're like meme analytics, like are something that you could stare at for like half of a day and before you like really see the matrix of like what's going on here, and like the complex meme analytic algorithm that they've like put together to measure trends across like NFTs. And there's like this whole curation process that like you score points by and everything, and it's this like pretty sophisticated flywheel, but that all like leans on goofy weird memes and everything. And so I don't know if this is what the correct term is for like the launch that they're doing live at the Whip, alpha, beta, like early days or whatever, but it should be fun, man. And I think a lot of people are we're gonna come up with a creative way to get these things in people's hands and see the progression. Again, man, one of these things, we'll see how it plays out. But we've launched, dude. I was thinking about this the other day, man. I'm like, dude, we fucking minted Chromie Squiggles on testnet at the Whip, like, and we've done like a lot of that shit over the years that should be written in the history books at some point by some MLO.art style author, pinging MLO.art. Hopefully this will be like one of those things, man, where like, we're there to see the beginning of like what is, I believe their, big meme explorers project that they've been tinkering around with on the back end and with the community for a long time, and trying to push this thing live and, see how it plays out.
Yeah. I mean, you can't fake on-chain history. And to be a part of so much of that through the years, it's a fucking blessing, dude. And just obviously super fun. And yeah, shout out MLO.art. Him and I, this is on me. We had bandied around the idea of like, all right, let's fucking from the new year, let's hit the ground running. Like, let's get some of this history out there. And I just fumbled the bag at Christmas time. I like passed out, checked out for like 3 weeks. Still need a vacation from that vacation, but yeah, he's the history master.
Sorry, he's not going anywhere. Neither are you. I'll keep drudging it up periodically.
Yeah, man. But like, other than that, like, God, what the fuck? This space has been kind of crazy. It definitely seems like a ton of energy on the Ordinals BTC inscription side of things, like growing like legit artists, like legit art popping up over there, leveraging recursion, folks. Again, like we were sort of talking about last week. Doing cool things there. Definitely seems to be where my mind is going, but still there's like this huge barrier in terms of like fucking understanding all that. But on your end, like what's kind of like piquing your interest, if anything, recently over the last week?
I don't know, man. I'm Nifty Island is like releasing or going into whatever mode where you can like farm some island points this afternoon or something like that. And as with anything within the sort of overlap of NFTs, metaverse, tokenomics and everything, I'm sort of just I plan on hopping in and tinkering around with it like at least a little bit and seeing what the deal is. But I'm sort of interested in that just as a experiment that is, doing something slightly different than we've seen in the past. And, I don't really know enough to know what to expect, to be completely honest with you. But I like the idea of experimentation for the first part, because we were just talking last week about how, we haven't really seen a lot of like really rapid innovation in like any specific direction in too long, unless we have like, giant blinders on. So I dig that, but also
with Nifty Island, do you have like a TLDR for the project? Like people have been talking about it and people have mentioned it. and I think you mentioned it too, in relation to the whip, like if we should incorporate it somehow. Like I just have no idea what the F is up with it.
Yeah, well, I think I'll report back, man. I don't really know either. I mean, there's some sort of play to earn mechanism in there, and I believe that there's some sort of way to build a thing that incorporates your own play to earn mechanism, or it allows people to participate in it. I don't know, man. I like considering what we've got going with the whip. I like just the idea of checking out what's going on, because it would be cool to work at some sort of mechanics where like, I don't know, man, like if you could come to the whip and like pull, 5 carrots out of the ground each week and get your 5 carrot coins, and, just dumb shit like that is like, even if again, we go back to like early whip days, it's just like some simple flywheel where you can like redeem them for, I don't know, a bigger carrot VRM at some point, or, I like the idea of like, metaverse, sort of using these NFTs and tokenomics in like actual interactive ways in the metaverse. And I think the pasture is like really green in that territory. I mean, we saw like very early experiments in like crypto voxels when you could sort of I think you were able to like hurl the color token at people, or at least that was teased or something. And there's been experiments in that direction, but I feel like nobody's really pushed it. And I feel like our audience would dig it, man. I know I would, right? Like you finish the race and like automatically, whipsies, dumped into your wallet in some sort of like, interactive flywheel or some shit. So I'm like, dude, it's going to come eventually. And it's going to be like a really dope layer to incorporate in what we do in a fun way that, I don't know, you never know how these experiments play out, but I'm like, dude, all this stuff is like where the fun is at for me too. So, I don't know. I'm excited to tinker with new shit.
Yes. It's that sort of approach is the way, right? Like doing everything that we've done for this time. It's like, all right, we need something absolutely like seamless, like built into how folks go about their digital lives, right? Where it's not this like extra clicking into all this other stuff. Like it needs to be as seamless as possible. That sounds dope. Yeah, I can't wait for you to report back on all that.
Right, like every week the carrots are only ripe like once a week, right? And they pop up during the whip, and anyone can come in and farm their 5 carrots, and then then we'll obviously run into the situation where we're like, oh shit, those are all the farmers who just come to farm the carrots and they don't even care about the whip. And I'm excited for those kind of like dumb things to start bleeding into the metaverse side of things, because we sort of manufactured a lot of that through Discord, and I honestly feel like learned probably a lot of mistakes to circumvent situation like bot carrot farmers or whatever, when that stuff starts to get rolled out. But yeah, man, I feel like that's sort of the direction that end of things is going to be headed. And I think there's a lot of like really fun things we could weave into the whip once, the tech is there.
Yeah. No doubt. And we're probably coming to market that we don't know about, or just already live that it just needs a little bit of time to percolate through the metaverse. Fuck yeah, man. That's
in all
I'm
honesty,
getting jazzed. I'm getting jazzed again.
Running these experiments through us, right? Like this is what we like really bring to the table, is like an audience that like groks this shit. And I'm like, dude, y'all pay the whip and our audience to come there and be the beta farmers and break your shit. We'll give you feedback. We'll tell you, we'll pick apart your tokenomics. We got all the brains in the audience, and you pay us and our audience to fucking make your shit right. And we become like this weird amoeba of like metaverse consultants, with our built-in audience that breaks everything. And I don't know, man, I'm getting rolling on a tangent. I'm excited. I'm excited for new stuff in this space. Hyperfi has been so exciting for so long, and they still are with like their rapid innovation. And so, hopefully this is another thing.
Yeah. Okay, dude. Yeah, I've been talking to a few folks recently, and a lot of people are starting to get down. Really, like folks that have been here for years are starting to feel bored or like fuck, like you're approaching a cul-de-sac or an alley, it feels like. And like talking about this stuff, God, like this is the excitement. This is like why we've all been here in the first place. If you feel like you're in a metaverse alley, just remember you're in a metaverse alley. You're just like a couple clicks away to a burgeoning new fucking thoroughfare of craziest shit going on with like a stampede of folks potentially on its way, right? This is, I don't know, man. Just constantly exciting, even if you feel like wherever you're at currently may not be like the ultimate future or something like that. I don't know where I'm going with that, but after every episode, man, I feel like a few folks at least DM me in a way that is just like, all right, listen to your podcast. It felt like therapy. Like I'm feeling better.
Right? I need this too, man. It goes all the way around. I'm glad other people dig it. Yo, dude, I would like to speak on that though, man. Exactly what you're saying about because I see it too, man. People who've been around for a long time now, like getting discouraged and I get it to a certain extent, man. And I honestly, and I've been thinking about this, dude. I feel like a lot of people have made the mistake of like thinking that the thing that got hot was going to continue to maintain that level or allow them to be self-sufficient in that way, and the way the space has always like sort of maneuvered, man, is that like certainly through hype cycles, and everything sort of has its hype cycle, but I feel like always the attention and the most excitement and fun of the space is where the innovation is happening at across all boards, like across the art scene, across the metaverse scene, and everything. And I feel like a lot of people sort of thought they were going to be able to produce art in the way that worked when that was still a very young idea. And some will, and there will always be like a market for that, but it's very saturated compared to what it was before, and that saturation point is not going to go away, and so it'll continue to be a battle of relevancy. But in terms of like me not getting discouraged, I feel like the edge is always where the most exciting shit has been, and that's what like got me into the space in the first place, and that's what got me excited about the art scene, and I continue to love the art scene, but I always love when people are sort of pushing the boundaries of the art scene, and I feel like a lot of the people who I see getting discouraged aren't playing around with what was the very cutting edge at the time that they were prolific or got involved in everything. And I feel like if you're not having fun, that's where you got to return to, tinkering around with the weird stuff that very few people understand and very few people have access to, in a lot of ways is a privilege that you can only do if you have a lot of knowledge already in this space. Otherwise, if you're coming in fresh, there's like a lot of layers of understanding you need to get to be able to get this deep.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. Well, this is our personal therapy too. I kind of think about it like that every week, kind of with regularity. Dr. Rizzle.
It's probably mine.
Dr.
Get some stuff out.
Anyway, dude.
No, it's good though, dude. I feel like it's, I don't know, man. It's refreshing for me. I feel like so many of the conversations out there are loaded in one way or the other, or have some sort of like agenda or thing that they're showcasing or whatever. Not that there's anything wrong with that. We did like a couple of years worth of podcasts showcasing other people's things and everything. But I don't know, man. I feel like we've seen so much, and it would be cool to periodically showcase people, but we do that at the Whip, and so I feel like that scratches that itch, being able to see people's new stuff. But I don't know, man. It's nice to be able to just kick it and like talk with someone about all of this stuff that's going on, who like genuinely understands and also has perspective from having been here since early days. And oh, dude, I'm going to Lisbon. I should use this opportunity to guilt trip you live into going to Lisbon. I booked my shit, and I'm just going to do it. I don't even think they put tickets on sale for the conference yet, but I needed to get out in front of it. to like, use some travel points and that kind of thing. But I decided to bite it and do it because, saying in the similar vein as you, man, there's a lot of people who go to that and they already like, I made some post about it and like Fabiano is like, we'll see you there. And like, Skeeny's going to be out there and, Ogar and Metageist and like, a lot of these same caliber people. I saw Angie Taylor post something. I'm trying to guilt trip her into getting out there too. I would love to meet Angie, even though that's like a farther than I need to go to, meet her based on where I think she's located. Anyway, man, but like, I'm excited to connect with those type of people who are still out here, man, and excited about the space and going to things and, producing art in a way that makes them happy and they feel good enough about to still be out here and in the mix and everything. And it's good vibes, man. I feel like there's a lot of like really good vibes if you know where to find them. And so this year I'm like, fuck it. I'm being proactive. I'm going to find them. I'm going to Lisbon. I know these people are going to be out there, so I'm going to get them.
You're not going to be disappointed. Lisbon last year was an absolute blast. Shout out Skeeny, like Trevor Jones, Violet, like the whole crew. Metageist is over there too. It was so fun. I'm going to commit soon, whether I go to Lisbon or not. Definitely like locking in New York though, which I think is maybe a month or so before Lisbon, which will be a blast, I think, this year. Excited to see folks who I haven't been to events since the last major event was Lisbon, I think, and that was like May, June last year. So yeah, may as well do it again. That was a breath of fresh air last year, and you met so many folks that you wouldn't normally otherwise. I think a lot of people that may be going to NFT Paris soon, like a sizable contingent of those folks spill over into Lisbon, so like choosing between some of the European meetups is probably the way to go. And Lisbon was just so cool. And I didn't get a chance to experience like outside of Lisbon as much as I would have wanted. So actually I'm talking myself more and more into it. That's how I'm
good.
Through.
This will be like, I wish I could spend more time, but it's just not in the cards. So
how long are you going to be over there for?
I'll be there from the 27th, and then I leave I get in early on the 28th, and then I leave the 1st. In the morning, so I an extra
really
day.
Short. Okay.
Yeah, man. It's just so much stuff going on, but I needed to do it, and I knew if I didn't book it ahead of time, it would get closer, and I'd be like, oh, there's no way I have time for this or whatever. So I'm trying to, I don't know if this is a unofficial New Year's resolution, but I'm doing a pretty good job of like getting out in front of shit like that, and I don't know, man. I feel like it's an opportunity, and there's. We talked for a long time about NFT NYC sort of being that ground zero, and it still has like a little bit of that where you can count on a bunch of people being there. But I'm like, shit, man, before like this gets fragmented and people start going to like a whole bunch of other ones, and then I got to like travel all across Europe to find everybody. I'm like, I'm going to hit up Lisbon, get out in front of it, and then I'll just have my travel booked. And I'm like, oh, I'm busy. I got no excuses. Already paid for. So I'm in. 100%. No backsies.
No backsies. No take backsies. There you go. You heard it here, folks. Book your tickets for Lisbon.
Yeah,
I gotta book my shit too. All right.
Yeah,
let's go.
Just do it, man. It'll be fun.
Oh yeah, dude. Dude, short, sweet episode this week. I love the love fest for Johan. It's been a long time coming. Super stoked for the whip tomorrow. Anything else dangling that we need to reiterate for folks?
I don't think so, man. Next week we got another great whip coming up with Bay Beckner and Fractilians. We're like coordinating the run of show and everything. But this is our. We were just talking. You and I were joking how we sort of are on this quarterly clip with Bay, who is just phenomenal, man. She's like such a fantastic tour guide. Not knocking Fractilians, but Fractilians is on Whip Crew, so we already know she's killer on the weekly. But Bay just pops in quarterly and seems to always have something awesome to serve us up, and she's like an incredible tour guide and just has great energy, and so always excited to kick it with her, and so that's what we'll be up to next week. But this whip out in front of us should be an epic one, man. I hope a lot of people turn out for us for it, and respect to this project, MarbleCards, and the Meme Explorers team that have been in it since very, very early days doing their thing.
Yeah, 100%. And real quick, just need to co-sign Bae Backner as like an event designer, event planner, par excellence. Every time she hits us up, like every quarter, it's fully baked. Like we don't really need to do anything else. Like she has everything taken care of. She's the best. So excited for that. And yeah, shout out
Bro,
Marble Cards.
Bae's like one of us, man. We need to absorb Bae somehow. You hear this?
I think we
Bae?
unofficially have. It's just like
Yeah.
every quarter, like it's a thing. Like I
It's
think
like the
we
slow
need to.
play.
Yeah, it's a slow play.
Right on. All right.
Awesome, dude.
Got it.
All right, man. Well, I'll let you get going and catch you tomorrow at the whip in the metaverse.
All right. Sounds good, dude. Later, man.
Peace. Yo, what up, Brocock? What up, Dragonate's mom? Musashi, long time, dude. And Dragonite, what up? Hopefully, y'all enjoyed this week's episode. Catch y'all tomorrow at the whip.